Hello and welcome to Tech Simplified TV and a very warm welcome to the Semiconductor Podcast. We are back with another exciting episode and today our guest is Mr. Venkatesh Kumar Pandurengan. He was there in our podcast on 27th December also. That day we discussed about his journey, India's perspective on the developing the manufacturing semiconductor manufacturing ecosystem and all. That episode has been widely liked by our viewers, and today he is back to discuss about the union budget. As we all know, in recent budget, government of India has put a lot of stress and importance to build a resilient semiconductor ecosystem. And since India is working in the design sector for last 25-30 years, and manufacturing is completely new domain for us, so obviously stress has been put on there. ISM 2.0, Semicon 2.0 has been declared. So Venkatesh sir is has a experience of more than 2 decades, and with his experience we want to understand what actually it means when execution is done at ground level, what actually these things means, what we have heard in social media or in press release regarding the budget 2026. So what actually it is on ground, how it feels like, how to build it. So we will discuss about that. So please join me to welcome him. Welcome, sir, for second time in our podcast. Thank you very much for agreeing to have this episode, because budget is a very important event in our country, and there has been a lot of stress this year on semiconductor ecosystem building, and we want to understand, we want to look from your perspective how you are looking into is what is the importance, what is your understanding. Please share with us.
Thank you, Munmin, for being very kind, and thank you. And it's great to see you second time in your podcast series. So yeah, coming to the budget 2026 from the industry, what I as an individual or a person with 20 years of manufacturing practice journey so far, I look at it as reinforcement done by the government to show and prove that India and Indian government is giving a long-term commitment to the semiconductor manufacturing in India. It is just to insist how strong we are and how practically has the government set up the milestones, subsidies, and they have framed a perfect framework. Earlier, if you see the previous year, it was about new, bigger announcements where the government supported first to announce few fabs, or I should say one or two fab initiatives they uploaded. Of course, Tata is the biggest announcement which the country can have it so far, right? And followed by that, few more ATMP and OSAT initiatives were announced last year. But for 2.0, whatever the new budget announced, I see how much long term the government is committed towards the country's development for semiconductor manufacturing practice. At the same time, this announcements shows that the government is now supporting the infrastructure development as well as the support ecosystem needed to make this fabs or ATMP OSATs to strengthen the complete front end, or let it be the back end ATMP OSAT facilities announced or ongoing in the country. So this signals the shift of policy announcements for new initiatives to the needed support ecosystem which is needed for making this to sustain, survive, as well as succeed together on a long run. That is how I see the framework has been very definitively defined and set up in the country now, so that more investments come from outside the country to the country, as well as lot of Indian indigenous organizations grow and set up their ecosystem, and they also evolve in the country. I see a lot of scope for MSMEs in India, startups in India. to emerge from what they do, something close to semiconductor manufacturing, to enter into semiconductor manufacturing also. That is how I see this budget announcement.
Yes, understand. Now, on 27 December's episode, you also mentioned about this MSME, and I specifically, I was quite surprised to know that. I mean, manufacturing is a huge investment. It's very investment and expensive part of the whole ecosystem, and you are saying to make it a part of MSME. So I was quite surprised, and I asked you how this can fit into the MSME. Yes, I can remember. And then and so I just want to know my second question is on that. The budget signals push towards Semicon 2.0 and the next phase of ISM. How do you interpret this transition? Because ISM was also already was going on, Semicon was also going on, and we have seen that last Semicon was a little bit. There was the energy, the hype, and the interest of different organization that was quite evident from the LinkedIn. As much I came to know from LinkedIn post also. So. Uh, what it how it is different from the earlier initiatives ISM 2 and Semicon 2.
So earlier, first and foremost, India as a country, we have to do our part in starting the phase, starting to execute a fab, a few OSATs, right? And we don't know who is interested. We don't know who will be able to do that, right? But it was very clear in the previous announcements. But at the same time, it may be more people, right? The government or the industry SMEs, we understand that many people wanted to emerge. But the first success is very important for the country, and it has to be the right success, the right way. So, so this 2.0, it actually represents a maturation of India's strategy from last year to this year. So it moves beyond attracting just anchor fabs, new fabs, right? And now already we have few of the initiatives done. Now we have to focus on the ecosystem development and to strengthen the supply chain also, right? We will have more announcements, more industries, more organizations announcing new fabs, new OSATs. But we need the complete support system to be available, and it is the right time that now the support system has to emerge. This enables more foreign collaborations to come into the country, as well as for the Indian organizations to learn and practice and know what is the semiconductor standards and expand the scope across the complete semiconductor value chain. That is how I see a difference between previous Semicon ISM 1.0 to uh, ISM 2.0. That is how I see. So it's an expansion of scope uh, across the semiconductors value chain is what I see it as.
Yes, so somehow I got disconnected for a while. Yes. uh, yes, so I understand this is the second phase, and we are not only announcing, we are now building. It's now building phase and attracting investment from foreign countries and all. So there is also one question rise in my mind that if we look towards the Singapore, Taiwan, a much mature ecosystem, so then don't not only first of all these places are really with respect to the area, they are smaller country, we can say, and population is also less. So market, if we compare with the domestic market, in that way India has a bigger domestic market. And although when our ecosystem will be completely, I mean, we are in a building phase, so what should be our first target? I mean, just to supporting the the inland these or the domestic market, or to taking orders from the outside world? And do we have generated that kind of confidence in the other countries, that they that customers from other country, they also place their orders here? And what do you think? I mean, you are visiting different conferences, you are, what do you see the confidence level on Indian ecosystem? How do you see that?
So I think still we have moved ahead more than what you see actually. Uh, Supply chain localization has already started in the country, first and foremost. That is a very good progress I see from at least for the past 1 year, if I see. And people have started to talk about equipment engineering capabilities to be developed in the country. And people talk about advanced packaging and particularly on skill development, there are a lot of initiatives also taken. Many things are going on parallel in the right way, I should say, and there's a good progress. But at the same time, still it has to be all integrated together. And when we say supply chain localization, people talk about localization, make in India, right? I think more than enough global organizations have placed their footprint in the country with the right partners, particularly organizations like many organizations, I should say. But still, if you see, for example, PTW itself, I work for PTW, but PTW is a Singapore headquartered organization who sets up pilot fab lines, all this stuff. Right? We came very early, before 2 years in the country, if I'm not wrong. And likewise, if you see, the complete ecosystem has been localized in India. They have made their presence in India. I'm telling about global organizations who have set up their presence in India. At the same time, they don't go independently. They have their own partners. Many of the organizations have identified their own partners. They go in collaboration together with the Indian partners. They willingly share the know-hows. They set up the ecosystem in the country in the right way, so that both the country as well as the organizations which came into the country to develop this ecosystem in India are being getting fruitful yields out of this. And one good shift I see, or one good development which I see, is also about indigenous new, I should say, indigenous small scale organizations, startup organizations have emerged a lot in terms of setting up their own small scale fabs, R&D fabs, fab labs, kind of. For example, if you talk about the new developments happened in the country by individuals of the country, I should say. I greatly see a great development done by organizations like Agnit Semiconductors. I think we have talked about the same last time also. Monk 9 Semi. The development and the aggressiveness which Monk 9 kind of Indian organizations who have set up a pilot fab line, R&D fab lines in fab for process development. Parallelly, if you see great initiatives like IDSPS driven by Professor Rao Tummala kind of. Last week, there was an organization, Manav Rasna, which set up some advanced packaging conferences where people are connected now together. And I see a very big positive change happened inside the country itself with collaborations wherever needed from global partners.
Yes, you
And
were
this is
present
what,
in Gujarat Semiconnect. I saw your
yeah,
photos. You shared your photo with Marmik and
yes,
Parikshit Gupta. Yes, I saw.
yes.
So you are seeing a lot of shift in the whole. I mean, when shift in the what is happening on stage, there are shift in what is happening behind the stage. That is also, these new stories are also coming up. Obviously,
Yeah.
that in the way, I mean, your pictures, your photos, that those also tells the story. what is happening there. Yes.
Mm.
So my third question is that what does this budget 2026 practically mean for fab, ATMP and OSAT manufacturing initiatives that already been announced or underway previously? So what is there for these initiatives which are going on or already declared?
See, previously, a lot of people wanted to invest in fabs or ATMPs or OSATs. But we did not have enough time because the complete industry globally is also looking for a right uh, alternatives of different other countries also, right? So at the same time, this shift also proves that this uh, budget announcement for the existing fabs as well as the new fabs whichever may come or are coming. First and foremost thing, the government themselves have to strengthen the confidence of the investors. I believe previously it was all about corporate organizations, global organizations like Tech Mahindra, Tata, HCL, kind of bigger organizations of the country who want to emerge and involve in developing the semiconductor manufacturing in the country. But now I see this policy announcement shows a strengthening, gives a strengthening confidence, I should say, for the investors who want to really participate to be a part of the ecosystem in the country. And this also ensures the continuity of the policy. So ISM 1.0, 2.0, we talk about. I see that it's not a shift or it's not a new announcement or a different announcement. It's just ensuring the continuity. Somebody is going to already set up a fab or setting up fabs and OSATs. They need lot of support ecosystem. It may not be started parallelly immediately along with the fabs, right? So according to the plan, whenever it is needed, the right time the government has very carefully analyzed it and published this new policy. And this is also now encouraging lot of technology partnerships for the ecosystems needed. And also this supports the faster ecosystem development. So now at least MSMEs, startup organizations who want to try something in any solution or any product development, or if they may not, MSMEs cannot immediately go and invest in a fab and run their own fabs. But at least the faster ecosystem is being placed in the country. That is how I see this. So now I think many people can understand, okay, they can try to invest in new parts, new developments. They can evolve from their current product to a semi-manufactured product or a semi-graded solution or a product which that's how it is.
So, if we talk about from manufacturing lens, which part of the semiconductor value chain that are likely to see the most immediate impact from this policy push? Any of the area you think get the immediate push for these policy changes and all?
I see a lot of equipment build support ecosystem is needed, particularly at least for the past 6 to 8 months. I'm seeing lot of semiconductor fab infrastructure development organizations are entering into the country aggressively. Earlier, before 4 years, when I was part of HCL Tech, setting up, designing the OSAT, which is set up in Bangalore, kind of, we did not have uh, so many infrastructure development partners in the country who can design a clean room, validate it, qualify it, kind of. Today, I see uh, uh, we had there is an organization called PTD Cleantech, which is which has a parent company origin from Europe, kind of organizations. Today, I see uh, IAQ kind of organizations who also are leaders in setting up infrastructures, design fab facilities in the right way. in the faster way kind of organizations. So that is one good thing I see is already coming. But everything cannot be done in the same way. I think India has to develop our own manufacturing ecosystem, right? So in that way, I see now it is responsibility of the uh, Indian organizations to do some startup organizations, MSMEs to work on parts, uh, component level. It may not be a complete equipment, but at least whatever the support infrastructure, equipment infrastructure is needed for the country, that is how it is to be seen. And of course, lot of manufacturing support industries will be developed soon for all the locations around India. There'll be a lot of hubs developed, I believe. And that is how I see the shift is very, very positive after this policy rephrase to 2.0.
And as we are talking about policy, since you have worked in a place which has a matured ecosystem, and here in India now we are building. So, how important is long-term policy continuity for sustaining this semiconductor manufacturing investment beyond annual budget announcement? I mean, what more we need beyond budget, beyond policies at ground level? The, India has also, sir, there is a complex. The whole system is quite complex. State policies are there, central policies are there. There must be an alignment between these two. There are multiple things. With keeping all these things, so how it's possible in the long term?
So, see, there has to be a faster central and state government policy alignment. And followed by that, there should be a continuous capital initiatives under ISM. And other than that, of course, I always talk about the infrastructure and the support systems needed because I come from the manufacturing. And a lot of improved power, water, and uh, chemicals, gases, specialty chemicals, gases, and logistics support. A lot of domestic supply chain preparation is needed for sustaining the semiconductor manufacturing investments. Particularly, we have a see this ecosystem is not only about a clean room or infrastructure. Does not mean it's just a building or whatever it is. Lot of specialty chemicals, a lot of specialty chemicals and gases. Precision making is needed. Ultra pure utilities are very much important for this fab industry. So we have a lot of organizations who already exist with the same capability. Probably they have not evolved into or emerged into semiconductor manufacturing ecosystem. But now this has to be also be uh, led beyond what is being done so far, is what I understand from my experience.
Okay. Um, and now we will talk. Let's talk about like how does the current policy push address ecosystem enablers such as infrastructure, utilities, logistics, supply chain readiness, and does it help move faster from announcement to execution? And what do you think? How much it will take to the whole thing shape up? How much time it will take?
Just from my experience, just giving you an experience, it should take uh, 10 to 20 years uh, for going to next level two. To emerge to level two. That is what you're asking, right? Am I right?
I'm
Munmun,
muted.
I don't
Sorry.
hear you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How does the current policy push address ecosystem enablers such as infrastructure, utilities, logistics, and supply chain readiness? And does it help move faster from announcement to execution? Along with that, I have asked that what do you think? How long it will take? You said almost 10 to 20
Okay, that
years.
no, okay, okay. I thought you were talking about something which is the new announcements or the new initiatives. So for whatever is happening in on the grounds, in let us talk about Gujarat. To realize all this, the current policy announcements, the newer ones, the old one, I believe within 2 to 3 years, these fabs, OSATs, whatever is already has started their developments in Gujarat, right? Within 2 years, I think they will start their uh, commercial production for sure. Pilot lines, pilot manufacturing has already started in almost all the organizations in Gujarat, at least. That's how we see. So within next 2 years, if you see entire Gujarat, at least I I can understand that yes, after 2 years, you'll see full of fabs and ATMP OSATs and their ecosystem in Gujarat, Toleda, Sanand, all this. We ourselves are trying to put our one part of the factory in Ahmedabad. We want to be closer to the customer always. Likewise, the ecosystem is very fast and aggressively being developed in. Likewise, when, for example, now I see the next shift is more focused towards um, Odisha. For Odisha, I think it should take 3 to 5 years. In 3 years, we will say there'll be one or two facilities successfully having their commercial production ready. At the same time, more to come, it will take 5 years. So it is a long phase because we are a very big country by landscape. So I think mostly within 5 to 10 years, if you see, every state will have the same semicon cities, hubs in each state for sure. But to start with, I think next 2 years we can realize most of the students would go for internships. Most of the students will start applying for new jobs, fresher jobs for equipment engineers, process engineers within next 2 years. That is for sure, which is already happening. But on a large scale, I think after 2 years, if we talk like a session like this, we'll be more proud about the country.
And I think the whole ecosystem will in we will cover in coming 10 to 20 years, as you were saying. Whole
Yes,
ecosystem,
10
whole
years.
country. 10
Yes,
years,
10
yes.
years for sure.
In
10
20,
years for
in
sure.
20 years, sir, I will be considered in today's I will be in say senior citizen ban. So obviously that will be although our many of our though those who are working tirelessly for this country, they have started their new role after 60, we all know. So yes, I don't
Yes.
know what will be and whether I will get to work at after 60 also. But in 20 years I will be crossing the 60, and that time we will retire in a uh, developed country. By that time we will touch the marker of 2047, as our honorable prime minister has said, that Viksit Bharat. So yes, that will be a good one to get retired in a country, developed country. I think much different days from what we have today now. Okay, so I will move to my next question. That now all this setup. Now let's talk about a little bit on the skill development. So, what signal does Budget 2026 send about skill development and workforce readiness for semiconductor manufacturing? And how can manufacturing skills be built within a limited time frame?
So when you talk about skill development, I think we have a decent skill development programs, some fab labs in places like IISc Bangalore, IIT Mumbai. You know how aggressive IISc and IIT Bangalore is setting up a lot of skill development training programs and other stuffs. But at the same time, uh, at least I should say only for the past 1 year, all these training institutes or training organizations who are trying to do the skill development programs. They are understanding now the real need of setting up training centers uh, with respect to the industry standards. So, industry led training centers as well as industry specific training centers has been lagging in the country for quite long because only R&D setups and R&D thing existed in the country so far. Now, the entire country, all the IITs are setting up some of the fab labs. Just before some months time frame, I have visited Sastra University in Tanjavur. They have a very big industry specific training center existing in the country in a place like Taiwan, Tanjavur, of course, with lot of collaborations with uh, uh, academias from Taiwan. This has been existing in the country for quite a long. Now, more of Sastra's kind of industry led training labs are being set up also. Particularly, Professor Satyam is setting up something for skill development as per industry standards. I don't mean that the current training programs or initiatives are against industry standard, but the equipment you place for training in this lab infrastructure should be the same equipment which I use when I enter a fab or a OSAT, right? You cannot go for a tabletop equipment just to understand the process. If I had to work on a CVD, I should have a proper the actual equipments used. It may be an applied material equipment, it may be a lab research equipment. That should be the actual protocol or a framework to be followed. Now, more of these labs are understanding how it has to be set up. And soon more apprenticeship programs have to come from the government also to see how this workforce and skill development happens in the country. I tell you, uh, tens of thousands of engineers are required for equipment engineering and process engineering. And hands-on training models are very critical. I cannot do a training or I cannot wait for people to be trained. And if somebody is able to train in the country with industry standard, that is the best way the ecosystem gets developed. So that is very importantly has to have. We cannot work on any simulations or something related to industry. It should be actual industry specific equipments people have to be trained.
Mm-hmm. Uh, okay, so I mean, there is what you are saying is at per industry level. So, is it possible that I mean, in design sector, I have seen. I mean, even after joining a company, the engineers get trained specific. That specification is almost nearly impossible in academia. Otherwise, it will become a training center itself. There in fact, one of our design leader also has mentioned in my podcast that industry must concentrate to make their base very strong, on which we can build the rest of the part. So in case of manufacturing, that is not possible. At least in our last podcast you have mentioned that at least one institute have one state of art equipment, and students must get exposure to that equipment. So is this happening widely, or it's really not happening widely across the country? Because the kind of demand you are saying, and it's visible from many portals also. So how that can be matched, demand and supply, how that can be matched in country?
So for that's what like IDSPS programs are setting up some of the R&D fab labs in the country under the guidance of Professor Rautamalla kind of people, right? I have told in the previous stops also. This is industry standard training initiatives. This is Uh, and this is not only for the purpose of training, to develop technology in-house in the country, kind of. So that is that shift is already there. Probably still it is not uh, socially known in the entire industry or the country, right? And I think we are in the right path. And only thing is, uh, it will take some time. If you talk about skill development, after 1 year, I'll say you will not even ask the same question. For skill
Okay.
development, I see a great shift, a positive shift which
Okay.
is already there. For example, Shastra University, they have the
Mm.
complete equipment, the industry standard equipments available, and they have a quite a huge infrastructure which is already available for almost 10 to 15 years, it seems. And in a place like Tanjavur, it's very unique which they have created in the country. I think more are coming also.
Uh, so, because since you have the ground reality, you understand what it's required, and you are visiting many universities. So, my question is, I mean, can you identify that from your experience, what key skill gaps still need focused attention, and how should education and training models evolve to meet employment demand? It's already done, or it's need any improvement? Very specific, because
See,
still we have time, we can do it.
we have time, number one. And academia cannot be given this burden of setting up a complete training infrastructure for the complete manufacturing, for sure. And academic, it's a very, very difficult thing, right? It's too difficult for us to do such initiatives. We can give practical hands-on knowledge, hands-on know-hows, and that will make the industry training system a little more uh, positive for them to train people more faster. Yeah, I don't think that burden cannot be given to academias or colleges or universities. And it shifts then our focus more towards skill development and all this stuff. Now we have to wisely use the policy announcements for the country. Probably when that is made after 10 to 15 years, uh, we may be one of the country which sends SMEs from here to give expert services for other countries. So I think we are doing a good part in skill development for sure at this point. The end result we don't know because still the engineers who are trained are not yet deployed, kind of, right? So I think both one good thing is the industry and academia collaborations are very strongly happened. So I think I feel confident now that the ecosystem or the training ecosystem infrastructures happening in the country is very well advanced, planned in the right way, actually.
In fact, I think the way you are saying, after 1 year, my question will be different. That is anything still gap is? Do you find any more gap left, sir? Anything we need to improve? I think my question will change after 1 year regarding
Yes.
this skill development. Yes.
Yes. I'm
So
confident on that one.
great, because you have that you have experience, and now you are what you are seeing, you can face to face, you are meeting students, and also you have that ground reality in your hand, so you can say comment very confidently on that. So let's talk about MSME setup. That how can MSME and startups align themselves with Semicon 2.0 and ISM 2.0 to become active participants in the manufacturing ecosystem?
First and foremost, specialty chemicals, ultra pure utilities. This still the country uh, has to emerge a little more, evolve a little more. We are a little lagging. I see few organizations are doing good in entering into semiconductor manufacturing also. They have, I see there is an organization, Pune-based organization by the name DDHP. So DDE kind of organizations, I see they have already have their setup evolved. Uh, Earlier, people were doing a lot of uh, distribution of global products in the country and doing it. But the same organizations now are trying to put their own manufacturing facility to support this ecosystem. That is how many MSMEs are willing to, but still we are in a very initial phase of setting up the ecosystem. uh, they have to be very they had to do a lot of due diligence on what is the right product which they have to select, who may be the right global technology partner or know-how kind of thing. But I think the MSMEs can support on specialty chemicals, ultra pure solutions for the fabs. Precision machining is very much important. I cannot, at this point, I'm going to import uh, wafers, and I import foods for the wafer. I import equipments for the wafers to run, and everything is like we do it right. But at the same time, tomorrow maybe enter this kind of organizations, they will set up their manufacturing facility here for foods. Uh, um, uh, that cannot be done by a new MSME unless or otherwise they have their own product developed which meets the semiconductor standards. But at the same time, precision machining kind of solutions, specialty chemicals, ultra pure solutions, and vacuum solutions, facilities engineering solutions, MSMEs have to evolve. Particularly, we talk about a lot of clean rooms are going on. I see a lot of smaller, bigger facilities are being built. Uh, Probably people who manufacture the panels for the clean room for medical industry, right? Clean room is not only for the semiconductor. Those kind of organizations should enter into semiconductor ecosystem, kind of. So that all this, the specialty chemicals, the water solutions, purity solutions, all this uh, industry must do this, I think.
Okay. So, in our last discussion, also, we have discussed about that foreign local partnership, and when now the next level of ISM 2 and Semicon 2 has been declared by government. So, from a high level ecosystem perspective, how important are foreign local partnership in this next phase, and how can policy support such collaborations effectively?
See, this policy itself is set up in a such a way that we ensured it is a mission-driven framework for long-term stability. And this has really enabled sustained technology partnerships from global organizations to the country already. So now local partners and the global technology leaders have already joined hands together. So this policy was more focusing that this time. That is how I see, because uh, applied materials kind of global OEM organizations, they can set up a facility proactively. But tier two, tier three OEM organizations cannot do it. So, and not everybody can buy tier one OEM equipments. When I am a startup fab, I want to do it for just a research purpose. I want to set up a fab facility just for 5 wafers per month to 50 wafers per month. I cannot go and afford for a high cost, high capital equipment. This policy itself is set only to enable such initiatives in the country. So, I mean, probably that is also a good news that I see that is a good positive aggressiveness happened in supporting such.
Okay, so sir, I have tried to keep questions aligned with our last discussion, because in between these two discussion there is a budget. So what you said in last and how things will change after new policies, and also I have tried to put question in that way. So I have a question like, when we look at India's semiconductor journey holistically, what potential do you see for Eastern India to contribute through manufacturing support units, and what kind of talent pool would be required to sustain such an ecosystem? Because in Eastern India, there are space, there is nothing much of that sort. So, and at the same time, we are quite distant within same country. We are a little bit distant from the ecosystem that has been developed in like Gujarat, then Pune, Mumbai based, or Pune, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, this area. It's quite more, communication is much more easier in that part. We are much in the eastern side. Odisha is getting developed, new projects are coming there. So what about the rest of the rest of the Eastern India, the other part of the Eastern India, and how we can take advantage of this policy? Obviously, what government will do, that we don't have clue. Obviously, we don't know. But from your perspective, how this ecosystem can be built in eastern side of the country? What is your
Uh,
opinion?
First and foremost, for me, India is India, no East India, North India. But we are a bigger country. We have to develop the complete country uniformly. I agree with you. I myself had the same question why uh, South India doesn't have a fab yet, kind of. But at the same time, for East India, I strongly tell you, you already have a huge land bank available. Oh, you understand, right? There is a land bank which is high potentially available in east part of India. So probably this eastern states, they have to reframe the framework with. See, it need not be a need for everybody to set up a fab or every state having 5 fabs, 10 fabs, kind of. Today, flights and journeys are very fast for us. You have everything in your mobiles. We can do a flight ticket in the same time of how fast you transfer a 30 rupees of chai to a chai vendor. Both has become equally faster enough. So instead of setting up complete fabs kind of thing, eastern states or whichever states identified have larger long land banks, that can be the first point to be published as telling, okay, if anybody wants to set up a support ecosystem for the fab industry, semiconductor industry, it can be promoted as the subsidies can be announced in that way. At the same time, it need not be that everybody has to be close to the customers, right? So I cannot go to every state and put my PTW's factory, but I'll have common hubs. And as I told, at any cost, you're going to make things travel from here and there among multiple states. So probably we have to focus on uh, particularly about this utilities and gases, specialty gases and chemicals are needed. At the same time, it needs a core uh, practice knowledge to be done. You and you cannot wait for people to train and then set up this. So I see for eastern part of India, probably precision engineering is a good way for involving in it, as well as fab automation is very much important. It need not be everybody to go into setting up fabs, equipment, labs, all this manufacturing kind of. At least some part of India should evolve themselves into fab automations, MES solutions, kind of solutions. These need not be very close to the customers for sure. These are all software solutions to be integrated. So potentially, those kind of support ecosystem needed can be diversified and valuably used in eastern part or other parts, wherever it is. And so there are a lot of logistic solutions needed. There are a lot of logistic hubs needed, which may not be physically needed at the fab locations, kind of. Those kind of things can be developed. For example, a lot of BPOs has been set up in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, kind of, and they work for some other countries, right? Such kind of things has to also be explored. Otherwise, we set up the fab here and somebody else sitting in outside the country go and do your automation solutions and you pay more. We have to use the money value wisely, right? So this kind of thing, I think that is one thing which still people have not yet uh, explored also, and it is not needed immediately. But since some of the things are already set up, probably it is still missing in east part of the India. So people can concentrate on such things which is not yet tried by the other states.
Mm. Yes, if there is a solution, or we can be part of the whole ecosystem, also not mandatory being at the center of the very close to the fab or this kind of thing, if possible, then I think yes, Eastern India can be is possible, because with respect to tech hubs and all, Eastern India is quite lagging compared to the Western India. Whatever may be the reason, let's not concentrate on that. But yes, we are lagging, and it will be a good balance. I mean, I'm staying in Kolkata, and Kolkata was much bustling city once upon a time. The crowd, it's many part of the heart of the city has become old age home. It's truth, hardcore
Okay.
truth, because aging parents, they don't want to, they have spent 40, 50 years of their life in this city, they don't understand any other language, they don't want to. That happened for me also. My parent never wanted to be in Bangalore, because they always said, there is no one to talk, you people go to office, there is no one to talk, with whom should I talk? This kind of complaint, obviously the language barrier is there. They don't understand the vibe of the city, because we stay there for work only. So in many part of Kolkata, it's a hardcore bitter truth that now has become old age home. One after one house, only the aging parents are staying there, and they are worried what is happening every day. They wait for the call from his son, their son or daughter, that okay, everything is okay in their city. That is the situation. So that's why I'm
Okay.
asking, it's need of the it's the reality of Kolkata nowadays. So it's
So
not many people.
this kind of solutions can be integrated
Yes,
in East
yes, yes,
India so that people
yes.
work from East India, from their
Hmm.
hometown, uh, uh, so that this challenges get solved. See, finally, we work for the family and the
Yes,
country, right?
obviously,
Yeah,
it's quite imbalance, isn't it? I mean, only
yes.
a whole mohalla is only a 80% of the population is 70 years above. Aged people, they are staying in the home, and their kids, the son or daughter, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, and grandchildren, they only visit during the biggest festival like Puja or Kali Puja, our biggest two festival. They only visit during that time. It's they wait for the whole year. These aging people, they wait for these 5-10 days. That's very painful. That's why I ask every leader, what can be done, what is possible in eastern part of the country. Okay, so my final question, that looking ahead, what would success look like for Semicon 2.0, ISM 2.0 over next 3 to 5 years from a manufacturing perspective, and what advice would you give to students, professionals, and ecosystem players preparing for this phase?
First and foremost, semiconductor previous policy, whatever is announced, it is not going to take 3 to 5 years for sure. As I told, within next 2 year, we will see the success stories, milestone achievement announcements from all the organizations which have started their existing initiatives in the country. For ISM 2.0, you would see many global organizations who support the ecosystem. As I told, uh, CRC Cleantech has set up PTD Cleantech in Pune before 10 years, it seems. Probably that time they never even had that many fab customers to discuss with. But today I see so many uh, clean room design, clean room build companies have come into the country already. Likewise, lot of support, tier two, tier three uh, products and solutions needed for the ecosystems. The companies which do that, they have already entered into the country. Before 1.5 year, I never see a standard experienced organization to take care of ownership of organizations like BHS kind of logistics company, which owns complete equipment, move in, move out, rigging services, kind of. Today, I see those organizations have entered into the country, give opportunity to people in India to learn how this industry works. They train the employees here. They set up their office here. Those kind of things. But students should be a little responsible when it comes to this semiconductor initiatives happening in the country. I feel they brand and promote anything and everything. Uh, People sometimes ask, Venkat, why do you meet student? I meet students every week, Sunday. I meet 5 to 10 students in a coffee day in Bangalore. This I have as a regular habit. People ask, why are you just doing this? But at least every drop becomes the ocean later, right? I see most of the students who promote something in this LinkedIn, they promote wrong informations. They take more AI enabled, AI generated data, and they don't verify. They don't know how to verify, and they promote wrong informations. Right? They have to be a little responsible, and they have to concentrate in knowing what are the right initiatives happening. For example, some of my colleagues of the industry uh, complain, telling lot of students come to this conference, so the industry people are not able to meet each other properly. But at the same time, if those students are not given the proper awareness, the entire ecosystem will not survive for long. Last interview, you were asking about 1 to 5 years. Today, you started asking your question 10 to 20 years, right? This is a long term planning. A lot of countries are trying to evolve faster than any country and every country. If we go in a slow path, and as well as we don't handhold everybody in the country uh, together, then there may be a shift from the country itself to other countries. So we should not let go this opportunity because late initiatives have been taken. So students have to also be integrated, incubated by the experts, people like SMEs who work in the industry so far, as well as people who integrate the public and the industry. It's like you, kind of organizations who become a bridge between the public, a common man or a student or anybody who is not in the semiconductor, right? So that has to be stronger enough. And I would say more awareness has to be created to students very soon. We are very much lagging. Students are not aware about which is the right way, which is the right training available in the country. So many promotions, so many branding, so many LinkedIn, Instagram, shorts, videos, all this happens. So they get confused. Probably a colorful video they get attracted to, but the information is wrong. It's our responsibility. That is what I say. So I make sure at least I meet 5 to 10 students every week. I spend time with them. I tell them what is right, what is happening, and when I do that, I am responsible for. the policy announcements, the initiatives also, right? It is your duty, it is my duty, and everybody's duty. We try to give them the right information, whatever we have. to- But our students are very smart.
Yes.
We are very smart. We are very smart. We have to just get aligned. We have to properly guide them with the right things. I think we still follow Mata Pita Guru Devam. I think only thing is proper
Yes.
integration has to be done.
Our family values, our social values, that actually, over so many years, thousands of years, that actually hold us together. That's completely different from
Yes.
many other countries. And these
Yes.
civilizational value that actually set us apart from many other countries. And why, after so many adversities, we are still we are upright there and thriving. I think that is one of the reason, because of our foundation of our family life and our social
Yes.
values. I don't know how many, but I believe it in that way. And very honestly, sir, if we go to South India from Bengal, uh, I first thing that struck me, that there, south not South India, I must say it's southern part of the India, below the Vindhya Parvat, that is, every morning, what I loved most, that rangoli in front of the house, the ritual, griha devata, to please Griho Devata. We don't do in morning. I have seen my mother. My mother is now almost 80. She cannot do it anymore. But we pour water we just water the tulsi ji. That ritual is there. That small rituals in the morning at the home. That keep you grounded. That keep you so connected to your family values and history and culture. It's really set us apart from many other part of the world. Yes. Sir, these were all my questions. And if I have missed anything and you think you want to share, recently you have visited Semiconnect in Gujarat also. So if you have anything more to say, please.
Again, only one thing, every state has to be a little more aggressive. Every state, central government is supporting
Yes.
the complete country's initiative, right? So every state should understand what it is. Uh, we are open to talk to everybody, right? We spend time with people who really want to do something in the industry. That has to be very carefully dealt. And students have to be very responsible for sure. I see this is a pain which I see. Uh, it is not it is not a blame on them. We have to make sure they are guided in the right path. So if that is not done, then it is a tutor's mistake. If the student is not guided in the right way, then it is my mistake, right? So I think I have to be, you have to be, everybody. We have to be a little more cautious and proactive to guide the students. Um, they are the next generation. We have become old. We have to set the foundation for them in the right way. It's our responsibility. Otherwise, I think I see a very positive growth and strategy which is implemented in this policy, and things are happening in the right way. Probably a little slow, of course, because you know how we urge for things, right? So probably we want everything faster. My customer wants everything faster. I want everything faster. You want everything faster, right? So probably that is always there, but still we can be a little faster. That's what I understand. And more initiatives have to happen. That's all it is. But otherwise, all good.
Okay. So, sir, these are some comments has come. Uh, Manjunath Handagi has said, "Great going, Venkatji. I think he knows you." Uh,
Yeah, he was my colleague in applied materials.
okay. He has watched the episode, I guess.
Yeah.
Great to know that. Another came from Sundaram, that super bro. Very much. Yeah, I think he is also one of you in your known circle. Yes.
He's my colleague from IMEC.
Okay. From name, you can identify your colleagues and friends. That's so cool. And another question has come, like, मैम इसमें हम सप्लाई चेन का हिस्सा कैसे बन सकते हैं? This is the question. I think you are the best person to answer
But
it.
supply chain of what supply chain? First, they had to understand what they want to do, right? So, still uh, manufacturing, component manufacturing needed. Even in my previous episode, I have told about this. O-ring manufacturing is not a very big thing, but still India can immediately start. Uh, Pune has a good setup. Mumbai has a good setup. Probably those organizations, right? Likewise, we can break the problems into smaller pieces, diversify and dilute it to multiple places. Maybe people can follow things about organization like Bharat Semiconductor Society, kind of organizations who incubate startups as a passion, right? So that is how it is. I mean, if he really wants, he can contact you. Then I can align and tell him what he can do.
Okay. Okay, sure, sure. Sir, another thing, another friend has commented that Kovil Pillai Babu. Very proud moment, great, my friend. I think one of your friend.
He's from South Africa. Yeah,
Okay. So many of your friend has communicated today through this
yeah.
comment section. Great to know. Okay, sir, it has been a very enlightening episode altogether because the ground reality, two things. One, your exposure now, and your what you are doing much beyond the boundary of your work, exchanging with the students. From there you are visiting colleges, so you can readily understand the skill readiness and your experience of 2 decades. That makes the whole thing, it's a complete set, I would say. So with that perspective, you have discussed today what we can expect and what does it mean, the policies came in this budget. That was a very enlightening 1 hour episode for us, a very nice session. So we are done with our today's discussion, and I hope many more time when we want to understand what is going on and the ground level, we can connect to you and we can uh, discuss again. We can get some perspective from you. So thank
Sure,
you very
Munman.
much.
Thank you to you, Munman, and as well as the entire Tech Simplified TV for taking such initiatives. I have seen almost all the episodes of yours
Oh, thank you.
until your 50th episode, at least I have seen all the episodes. Uh, you focused on uh, approaching diversified people from the industry, and
Yes, sir.
I think there are a lot of filterings. I have a choice of if I want to look at a speech of an expert from a design background, you have it. People like manufacturing background, you have it. I think you were open to talk to all the complete ecosystems contributors. I think you have covered, but
Yes,
still
I'm
long way
trying.
to go.
Yes, sir.
Still
I'm
long way
trying.
to go. Have the patience, have the energy. Try to do the same as much as possible with the same warmness to the industry.
Yes, sir. One lifetime, and there are so many things to know. Only one lifetime,
Yeah.
because it's a complex and intriguing ecosystem, and that one thing I love from core of my heart, that is semiconductor ecosystem. I mean, I don't know. I'm a little bit obsessed with my subject. I want to understand both design, manufacturing, how things get done, because I don't know where I will use this all this knowledge, but it's always feels so good. Every week I learn something new. It feels so good. It feels so alive. I'm alive, and that gives a lot of dopamine. I think that is main reason why I discuss with so many people, and at the same time our community is growing, so it's become a responsibility, that okay, let's know from a senior leader like you and share it to the others also, and give them a chance to think and what they can do with this knowledge. Yes, now it's becoming really a very happy interactions.
Yeah.
Every interaction is so happy. Okay, sir. With this note, I
Sure.
will conclude our today's session. Thank you, viewers, for watching up to this point. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Tech Simplified TV, and don't forget to watch the Semiconductor Podcast. It's our domain, our industry, and we will try to make it better, one conversation at a time, and we'll understand it much better, one podcast at a time. Thank you, and bye for today.
Thank you. All the best. Jai Hind.